Good morning, a lovely sunny morning here. We're going to have a little look around and see what's been going on, show you what's been going on. Got a bit of a dodgy foot, so I'm going to be doing some of it on the motorbike and sidecar, so that should be interesting. Anyway, we'll see how that goes, and yeah, show you around. Things have changed a little bit since the last video we did, so yeah, it should be quite interesting, hopefully. Here we go. Here's our mode of transport this morning, and we're going to drive up to the front along the road and we'll carry on from there. Okay, this is the view from the road at the front, the road that goes through the village, and we've got the dog barking. So this is the road through Normal Bring or Area 4. There's me transport for the morning. Now this house is what Noy built with redundancy money. We did have it as a little restaurant. It was hard work, and we let it out now to a guy that delivers water, and to be honest, we make probably as much or more money from the rent and for doing nothing. So this is the view from the front of the pond. And the lilies are, I think it's only just 8 o'clock in the morning, so the lilies are all open and looking pretty good. At the far end there we've got a white lily, and also Noy's big lily that she got for her birthday. Anyway, that's the sort of view that we're greeted with most, well, every morning really, once when the sun's shining. These coconut trees, these ones don't do particularly well. We do get some fruit, coconuts on them. It's surprisingly good price really. I mean, it's not that regular, they take a while to grow, but she came round a few weeks back to cut what we had. I think it was about 500 baht, which is pretty good really. So yeah, we were quite pleased with that. Anyway, so that's the view from the road. As you can probably tell, it's not overly busy around here. In the mornings there's a few cars. It's pretty quiet generally. That's and this is where a week or so ago you all sort of get together, and the people sweeping, people with strimmers, and you cut all the grass verge. That one they don't cut over there because there's a bit of a miserable swine in that house there for some reason. Not a very local person, so they avoid that, but everywhere else was cut, so yeah. That's it. There's a car coming. Very busy. I'm not sure how this will work moving along the road, but we'll try. So that's the view from the road. I'll not go too far. stabilisation's not great. It's, it's a lady picking the lily stems. There are lotus flowers in there, you can probably see. And the mangoes are getting fruit on the mangoes. A lot of fruit, but I think generally some fall off. There we go, tiny mangoes. And over here, a little bit bigger. There the flowers turn into little fruits. That should, yeah, all looking pretty good there. Due to foot problems, I've only cut half of the grass up here, so this side of it needs finishing off. I'm hoping a couple more days and we'll be there. There's some more coconuts here. How they grow in there. The small ones are just forming up there. That's this end. We'll go and take a look further down at the pond with the big lily. There's Noy, come for a little look. Staring at the dog. Whose is that dog? Huh? Oh, was it?
Yeah, liquid one.
Oh, right. I didn't realise.
Yeah. Big, very quick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oi. He's jumped in the sidecar. Hey? I didn't recognise him as Saku's the shopkeeper up the end of the road there. That's her dog. He's actually a lovely dog. But yeah, come on.
Come on. Money. Money. เร็วๆไปขึ้นมานี่เลยเร็วๆมานี่
Off he goes. Dang's sitting up there patiently waiting. We're going to go around this side and have a look how things are progressing around here. All the medicinal plants are doing okay. Some mangoes forming on this tree here. Very small at the moment, but they are mangoes. An awful lot of flower on the trees this year. When I came in January, end of January, there was still quite a lot of mangoes on the trees. We were selling quite a few. So Noy seems to think there's a lot more flower this year than there was last year, so hopefully we'll get a good crop. You never can tell, I suppose, once the mangoes do form. I think if you get strong winds and heavy rain, it knocks a load off, but that's life really, isn't it? So this is the big lily, the lily pads that grow to about 1 metre across. It seems to be doing very well. We're getting a lot of new lily pads growing. We've had 5 or 6 flowers now. I only seem to get one flower at a time, but hopefully this will spread. It was only planted really in June, and it had to be moved a couple of times from shallower to deeper water, and it seems to be very happy there now. And there's the white lily, which is quite nice. It does look nice. And yeah, you get up in the morning, have a little wander. It's really quite a nice place to look at, really. Yeah, it's very nice. When the sun is shining, it's sort of 7-8 o'clock in the morning. It's probably 22-23 degrees. It's supposed to be getting up to about 31, and then from lunchtime we're supposed to have thunderstorms. Yeah, we'll see how that pans out. It was forecast yesterday as well, lunchtime, but it didn't happen until about 7 o'clock in the evening. But we had a bit of rain, which was nice, so we didn't have to water. But yeah, we'll move round the other side and have a look round there. And here are the medicinal plants, which have, some of them have died down, which have cut back, and they'll grow back and should do well. I did get this bit cut here. It was a little while back. It's probably once. We're going to need cutting again soon, but hopefully in a couple of days my tendons in my foot will have healed up and it'll be okay. So around here is my experimental banana, which seems to be doing quite nicely, but it's the fruit we're interested in. The bananas always seem to grow quite well. It's the fruit, which is the most important thing really, that we've been struggling with. So we're still keeping an eye on this one, letting one stem grow. Anything else that comes up, we'll chop it out, and once this produces fruit, then once the fruit's developed nicely, we can then start to let another stem grow, or trunk, or whatever you want to call it. The coconuts over here that went in are doing quite well. The guava, the fruits actually forming and growing, they're growing quite well. Now, Noy did try to put bags on these, which is what they seem to do when you see the fruit farms. They cover the fruit with bags to stop the birds. Now, when that was done last year, the fruit just seemed to rot. So this year we're going to take a chance and take our chances with the birds, and hopefully between the birds and us we can both enjoy the guavas. But if the birds start enjoying them a little bit too much, we're going to have to look at something else. But they're coming on quite well. And down here we've got some quite big fruit there. nicely. So they're quite a crispy fruit, like a bit like an apple really. You can peel them, they're white inside, quite crunchy and crispy, very nice. So put them in the fridge and eat them like that. Now over here, the baby aubergines have all been pruned. They're flowering, a lot of flower on these as well, so they should start to produce fruit soon. And again, really just used in curries. They look like peas. When you see them in a curry, you think they're peas, but they're quite crunchy. So they're doing well. This one here, quite a lot of flower coming. We need to keep watering as it's getting warmer and drier. We're watering most days unless we have thunderstorms like last night and this forecast for today. And everything's quite damp down underfoot, so it obviously did its job, the rain. Another banana there, which we'll either leave or we won't. We'll persevere with some of them. We've got to be able to get them fruit on them somehow. Over here we've got some fruit trees, durian fruit trees, and a couple of other types. They all seem to be growing quite well. A little bit of lemongrass still here, which will probably go as we've got that growing elsewhere now. So once that will come out, and probably might be room for, oh no, there's a coconut been put down there, so I've always done that. So that will take over that space. Over here where we've got the lemons, this lemon looks like it's shedding a lot of leaves. It has got some fruit. And these over here, that one doesn't look like there's a lot of fruit on there. There's quite a lot of flowers, and maybe that's a little bit later. And these aubergines, which were planted in between, because we have to water this area for the lemons, so we've got aubergines growing here. And they look like they're doing quite well. I think Noy did pick some last. Not last night, the night before. He picked some. And, cats are at it. God knows whose they are. So these have got flowers. So they're looking quite healthy. They're going to fruit. That's all looking quite good up here. There's quite a lot of lemons on the trees and a lot of flowers, so there's going to be quite a lot more going on there. And that's that area. We'll go have a little look up at where we planted the coconuts and see how that's going. This is where the coconuts were planted. We'll have a closer look in a second. These are the policeman's dogs. He's out at the moment, so they'll always bark when he's not there. It's only doing their job, I suppose, really. He was looking for somewhere to live, and basically that was all overgrown and bamboo, and basically we let him build a little place in there. He lives there. When Noy and her cousin and the two daughters were on their own, there's a little bit of security for them as well. He's a nice enough bloke. He's a really, really nice fella, so we don't have much of a problem with that. Okay. And here we are. Now this is where the coconuts are planted. And the guy I was just talking about, he's got a couple of squares up there in between the coconuts, which we have to plant 4 metres apart, and they need watering. So the bit in between, we decided to plant vegetables in some of it, chilies, aubergines and what have you. And he's got a couple of squares because there's quite a lot actually to look after here. And we've got an empty square here, which we don't know what we'll put in there yet. As you can see, the grass is growing. The vegetables are looking okay. Aubergines, the coconuts are looking fine. We started to feed them. In here there's all aubergine plants in the middle. There is some chilies on the outside, which problem with them, when we planted them it poured with rain and it was a bit too wet. But, these are looking alright here. Should have plenty of aubergines anyway. And what I'll do in the middle here, I will just run the strimmer over the grass and keep that tidy, and that should be okay. Some of the chilies over this side didn't do too bad. There is a row all along there, that's all chilies. They look alright. I may have saved those, but a lot of the others it was just too wet, so we'll see. I think what we need to do here, because of it just sits in water and you can't do much with that now. I think we're going to have to do raised, like in England where they grow potatoes in raised bits. So I think we'll have to form humps and grow the stuff on there. That way the land can sit in water and it will get through to the plants, and it should be okay. So that's where we are with the coconuts. They were in the pots an awful lot longer than we anticipated, which wasn't a problem at all. It was just so wet here that we couldn't get on it. The pipe work for watering here looks a bit Heath Robinson, but it's like a polythene tape which has a series of holes in. Now, we had this stuff, I've had it for years on a roll, never really used it, so we thought, well, we've got it, we've got the pipe, and this one we pump from a well. We've got a well over the back here which we pump water from. That we had the pump, so we had the pump, had the pipe work, had everything really. So we've got a well there which we pump the water from, and that's at the back of what was Noy's mum's house. And there's the little room that I built for Pi's daughter Im and her little boy. So they've got their own room out here. That all worked quite well really. And it's got a little self-contained room. been blessed, of course. That's what we built, and because of this floor here, we had to then do a 2-inch raised screed on inside there, so there's a step, so if there was any water got out here, that won't get into the room. This is all lemongrass here, which is probably getting ready to cut, I should imagine. And we've got some papaya in that ring, something else there, I don't know what that is. And that's a fruit from what Noy remember telling me. And this one I know is a grapefruit. So we're going to see how that does out here. We still have a little bamboo over here, which we use for bamboo. Cut the bamboo shoots, and we don't bother selling any now, we just use it for our own meals and things. And Noy does sour bamboo, which basically is bottling it up with a bit of salt water in it, and it turns sour, which is actually very nice with pork. This is the back pond. The lilies are open there. Again, we've got a pink and a white one. We haven't got a big one out here. So, and this is where, when the water gets low in the front pond, we pump it from here via this pipe to top the front pond up, which is more important because that's the one we mainly use for watering. So that's, excuse me, that's the side and back to where we are here. Okay, that's our little guided tour over there on the sidecar, not freewheeler as Noy calls it, but yeah, a bit Wallace and Gromit type thing, but it does a job. It's very useful at times. Well, the orchids are now coming into bud again. I think again we're going to have summer in flower. I think they're going to look pretty good in a few weeks' time. Maybe in the new year I'll do another little short video of the flowers. And the same over here there. These two on the end here, they just don't seem to stop flowering. They just flower all the time, and the flowers last for ages. And the same with these ones here. The flowers are there for weeks and weeks, and they're quite a stunning flower, really. Very nice. And up here, there's more buds on this one here. So that's going to look quite impressive soon, hopefully. And there's buds coming all along here now. So yeah, should be looking good in a few weeks. I'll do another little one in a few weeks when these are in full bloom, which should look nice. Anyway, that's that. One more little thing I'll show you is some of you are aware that I've been learning how to weld or stick two bits of metal together, but no, it's coming along quite nicely, to be fair. And what I did, I said to Noy I would do for her, would make her a new Buddha table. She wanted quite a large one to take up a wall in the house, and so that's what I did. I welded a frame, and then I got some furniture grade plywood, they call it, and I then clad the frame with the plywood, 3 coats of stain, and an edging which we bought from one of the big DIY chains, the sort of B&Q equivalent, if you like. And that's what we built. And I built a couple of little bits here, one to catch the drips on from the candles, and a couple of additions. Somebody commented and said that maybe it would be better if there were 2 raised pieces here and here. So I had enough plywood, and we bought another length of edging and did those 2 there. The edging is actually quite nice. It's a strange material. It's almost like a plastic. So we just finished it off really, instead of a bare plywood edge, and it gives the impression that the shelves are thicker than they actually are. I think they're 12mm ply, I think, so it makes it look a little bit thicker. So that was a little project which turned out quite well. And Noy's old Buddha table there, she's still using for other bits and bobs. So yeah, I was quite pleased how that came out really. I wasn't too sure. It's 2.4 metres wide, which is the width of, or the length of a sheet of ply. They're the same in the UK, 8x4 sheets, or 2.4 by 1.2. So I did it that size, and it pretty much takes up the wall, which is what Noy wanted. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. And just really the only thing we need is maybe a couple of bigger vases, which Noy has seen some, but she hasn't been able to get up to where they are. The lady's saving them for her, but just slightly bigger to get a bit more flower in. So yeah, that was another little project which worked quite well. We still haven't done the little curtain bit underneath where there's a little table under there, and my photographic equipment is under there. So, but there was supposed to be a little curtain along the bottom, which will happen at some point. And we have all more of Noy's stuff up here. That was quite a famous monk from a temple up the road, Wat Rai, Long Bu Tim, and over there you've got again Bu Tim and the head monk from the local temple there. Leave it there. for another month or so, or a few weeks, when the flowers, when the orchids start to flower, I'll do another little one, show that, and I'll leave it there. And I hope you enjoyed another little look round to see how things are going, and I'll catch up with you soon. Take care. Everybody have a lovely Christmas, and yeah, I'll catch up with you in the new year. Bye.